Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to another recap of the day. So we're going to be looking at Tuesday's trades. So for Tuesday, we can unmark all of this crap over here. Only traded US30 today, nothing else, didn't execute on anything else. So we'll stick to this pair because she gave me a lot of drama today, but nonetheless, awesome enough. We're up on a Tuesday. So coming into just the summary of what we're looking like for the week. So basically Monday we closed, I think it was plus 2 R, 2 point something R, that don't really remember, but nonetheless for the day we're up a nice 5.7 R. So summary of the trades is we took one L, we took one P, we took another L, we took another P, and then obviously we'll close. So let's just go through and explain what happened today, what were the thoughts, what was the thought processes, and how did I follow the market throughout the day. So coming into US30 here, so I'll just stick to the low time frame just so that we can make these videos a lot shorter. As usual guys, this is US30. I use the H1 as my high time frame, 15-minute as my middle time frame, and then obviously 5-minute and the 1-minute were my entry criteria, or at least let's just say 3-minute and the 1-minute were my entry criteria time frame. So those are time frames that I was looking to execute on. So by the time that I saw the market, this bearish engulfing had already hit off this nice area of supply over here. So basically structure has been to the downside. This is the last origin of momentum that just broke structure. Obviously there was an area of supply inside of there, and when I had looked at the market, we had already given this nice bearish engulfing away from this area of supply, nice ascending structure into there. I don't know if I would have been able to catch that trade, but in my own assumptions probably would have maybe observed or looked at some sort of an ascending structure like this. Maybe that would have helped me refine, but nonetheless I was too late by the time I had looked at the market already. So only information that I had was obviously this new momentum that was able to violate our levels of support over there. So let's use the bar replay tool. We'll go back in the price action and I'll kind of walk you guys through basically as I entered the market. So coming into this price action over here, basically what I had here was this normal impulsive move to the downside that had broken structure. So I was kind of just looking for where do I have origins of momentum, sources of momentum. Obviously the first region we have is here, where we have a nice bearish engulfing candlestick. So we have a green candlestick, obviously followed by a new lower low, lower close candlestick that has momentum. So it did function as some sort of a momentum shift. So I was looking at this as my first entry area, obviously, and then obviously we have this bearish engulfing up top which functioned as my second entry area. So looking at the price action, or let's just follow the price action as we developed. So coming into here, we did tap into this area over here, but as of yet I was not into the market. I was basically just waiting for some sort of a confirmation or some sort of a something, but nonetheless when was it? Over here, there we go. We got this bearish engulfing here that basically pulled me into the trade. Yes, I did realize that okay, cool, we violated the area where I was expecting the candlestick confirmation to form inside of, but in my own head, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was just thinking that okay, cool, maybe we just wanted to grab some liquidity over there and maybe we're still gonna be okay for the move to the downside. So this was the first position that I basically entered. This was the first L that I did take. So basically, yeah, price action didn't really waste any time. I didn't really see blue on the screen ever since I entered this trade. So it was straight L. Coming into the day obviously was kind of discouraging, but then nonetheless we trade through the probabilities. So nonetheless, price action obviously had closed above this resistance area, meaning I couldn't look for any sort of a double top structure or whatever in this case over here. So I then again obviously laser focused on this next POI over there, the next area where we're looking to find basically a trade. And then what we do see is price action coming in, we have a nice source for, or at least form of rejection, and then obviously our momentum shift candlestick, and that basically pulled me into the trade. What I did this time, just to be a little bit safe, is I put my stop loss above my extreme high. Obviously we had price action violating these lows over here, so after we see price action giving us a lower low, are we not expecting price action to stay below this high and not give us a new high? Instead, maybe continue the downtrend and give us a lower lower high. So that's kind of why I kind of just decided, okay, let me just be safe, put my stops above this level of resistance over there. And this was the second position that we basically entered, and this was a position that kind of did give us what we were looking for, like beautiful momentum to the downside. Kind of made me feel a bit better just for coming straight into the day and taking an L, and then obviously looking to re-enter on the same trade, and the trade then coming in with the momentum that we've been looking for. So my first partial out area was this area over here. So obviously when price action had got to this area over here, I partialed out 0.25 of my overall position. So at this point I only had 0.75 of my trade on. And then obviously this was my second partial out area. So at this point I had partialed out half of my position, so 50% of my position, and I was obviously just stops at break even, waiting for the rest of my position to close at some sort of a TP down there. So basically when price action was coming up here, I obviously was looking for another scale in opportunity. I did observe that, okay, cool, on a 3-minute we did have some sort of a lower low, lower close inside of there, nice bearish engulfing, and obviously what I would have wanted to do was to enter the trade. So I did wait for price action to basically come in, tag me in over there, and after I was in the position, price action just kind of made me feel good about what happened, and then just came and stopped me out. So anyway, this was the second L of the day. So our first trade, remember, first trade we got stopped out, second position we've already closed half of this position at our partial out areas, our trade is at break even, and we're still holding 50% of this position. So obviously here I take another L, and okay, just a little bit neutral. I'm feeling like I want to jump I'm feeling like I want to jump back in, but I don't, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, momentum comes into the market, sending prices down. We violate these lows over here, and then obviously that gives me an opportunity to then adjust my stop loss and lock in some on that 50% that we've got running over there. So otherwise, the rest of the day comes, we close this trade here at TP. So with all the managing, obviously you guys can see the RR on this trade was a 1:8, but because of how we chose to manage this trade, we only managed to close 5.7 R on that position. Obviously we then took another L, which we were trying to make a scale in, which maybe we would have got if we had held a full position. We've got maybe a 1:4, because that's kind of what the trade was. But anyway, the market did what it did best, and obviously our job is not to catch every single move, but to look for areas and trades where there's probability. And obviously I came in a bit too early, didn't see the manipulation coming first, and it is what it is. You just move on, trade through the statistics. So anyway, rest of the day goes on. So my eyes are basically focused on this area at this point in time, waiting to see if price action does come up. We had an origin of momentum. I am going to be looking to basically sell from this area to try and find some continuation. So that was basically the plan at that point in time. Anyway, fast forward, we'll move the market a little bit faster. Let's just try and go as fast as possible. So let me aggressively just tap these keys, because nothing basically really happened at this point here. I was feeling good that I'm up on the day, waiting for something to develop. Anyway, we're coming closer to about 3:30. So now my mind is moving away from the fact that I'm looking to swing or something of that nature. Now I am basically looking to scalp. I'm looking to scalp at 1/2, and this is basically that 1/2 position that we took to the upside. So this position, as you guys can see, this position ran, at least I had closed the last position that I closed. I had closed at a full 1:13, but I did not get 1:13 on this position. I only got a 1:2 on this trade, and I'm gonna explain to you guys the way that I managed this position. I didn't really get a full 1:13 on this position. As much as it ran, I closed up till the end, I only got a 1:2 R on this overall trade. So I will put a screenshot here on the side somewhere, just so that you guys can see, because the way that I managed this trade was quite complicated, and it's going to be a hell of a lot, way too much maths for now. But anyway, I'll talk you guys through it. So basically we entered the 1/2 trade over there. Trade was good. Let's just go up to a 5-minute, because I managed this according to a 5-minute. So on a 5-minute, we were basically in the trade just before half past, and then obviously some nice bullish momentum. But as this candlestick was forming, or as the structure was forming, we did kind of move our stop losses to break even. So in the formation of this candlestick, price action did come back and stop us out on half of our trade before coming up to our first resistance where we were going to partial out. So this is the first area where I partialed out 0.25 of my trade. Remember, I only had half of what I initially planned to go. So when I closed 0.25 at this position, which is 1:4, which is around a 1:4, I basically closed 1 hour of the trade, and what I had running left was 0.25. So the rest of the 0.25 I chose to manage it the way I would have managed any other trade, as in like try and exit 0.25 of that position, another 0.25, and then maybe leave the 50% to run till TP or whatever the case is. So that's kind of a management style that I found is nice, or at least that I'm very comfortable with. So nonetheless, we ended up coming to our second partial out area. So remember, at this point we're only running 0.25, so I think we then partial out somewhere at these resistance areas, or somewhere in and around there. Obviously we have our extreme resistance over there, so we're looking to partial out somewhere in and around there. So I think we do partial out somewhere there, or whatever the case is. But nonetheless, in my memory is that we partialed out the last half of our position at this 1:13, and then I had then adjusted stops on a 1 minute time frame, obviously just looking for source of momentum. We have this nice big volume candlestick over there, so I just put my stops just below that volume candlestick, and eventually price action created some structure which I should have at least trail stops maybe below these lows, since we had created a new high. But I was not looking at the chart because I was pretty much satisfied on the trades of the day, and I had stops at break even, but stops locked in. But otherwise, guys, price action ended up taking us out of the trade. And then obviously, now that we have this upside momentum, our bias and everything for tomorrow will be slightly different. Maybe we might be looking for that upside continuation, but nonetheless, we still do remember what our overall high time frame biases are. But I just wanted to run through the trades of the day. Guys, today we closed with a nice positive 5.7 R, so another good day. Hopefully this whole week is going to be kind of a positive week, and through every recap that we do, hopefully you guys are going to learn something. Oh, by the way, we did quite tap into this area where I would have sold if I was not holding this buy from half past. I would have sold from this area over there, and hopefully we would have maybe got an opportunity to manage the trade. I don't know how I would have chose to manage the trade. I don't know how I would have felt, how I would have observed and read the price action, so I guess we'll never find out. But nonetheless, we did react from this area in a nice ascending structure, but there was no follow through. And I'm glad I did not choose to close the buy and hop into the overall narrative of the day. But nonetheless, we identified, or at least observed, the fact that we had changed current momentum. Like, when last did we see any break and close of resistance that impulsively? It's been a while. We've been seeing price action when we're breaking support structures. We've been breaking very impulsively. It hasn't been. This is the last 5-minute momentum that we saw to the upside, and even when we did manage to break structure, we didn't break it very impulsively. We broke above and broke back below. So this is the first time that we see some nice bullish momentum being able to violate the structure and whatever the case is. So obviously we identified that there was obviously a shift in some of what was going on, maybe volatility, maybe market participants, whatever the case is. And I guess we were able to appropriately adjust our mindset from being in that downside continuation, looking for day trades that we can turn into swing trades in the direction of order flow, into identifying that at half past is a totally different environment, and maybe we should adjust how we trade slightly differently. So otherwise, guys, thanks so much for being part of this daily recap. We're up again 2 days. Let's hope that the week is going to be good. Thanks guys for watching. Definitely do like the video if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and otherwise comment and let me know what you guys want to see next. Have a great week, guys. Cheers.